Hello, good morning. How are you today? So, I'm just gonna get my chair back here a little bit, just see who is jumping on live this morning. I've gone a little bit impromptu with this, so I wasn't sure what I was gonna cover, and I've been thinking about the control freak this morning, and I was thinking this is a brilliant topic to talk about right now, because I can guarantee that no matter where you're at, there is somewhere in your life that you are still hanging on to control in. So, like I said, I'm going to wait and see who's jumping on live. If you're jumping on live this morning, say hey, let me know where you are at. And if you're watching this on replay, then let me know as well. So just say hey, and as we go through this session, just let me know what's coming up for you right now, where you are trying to control things, where you are hanging on to control in some way, and how you are blocking, or maybe you've noticed there's a certain thing that you are blocking in your life because you're trying to control the outcome. So you may know that I talk a lot about the inner fear freaks. If we haven't met yet, my name's Cara and I am the founder of the Sensitive Sisterhood. And really, in the work that I've been doing on myself, and then the work I've been doing with my group program with my clients, I've noticed that we have 5 inner fear freaks within us. And if you don't know who your dominant one is, I will post I've got a free quiz. I'll post the link below, and you can sign up and you can do that, and you can check out like who your dominant inner fear freak is right now. And we're going to talk about the control freak, because there is definitely a sense right now of getting back into the swing of it. We've had pretty intense period with the eclipses, and it kind of does feel like everything is winding back up now. And with that, there can be a sense of really wanting to get everything done. Alongside that, we also have the fact that for some of us, kids are going back to school, and September always brings that back to school vibe. So you might feel that sudden like, oh my god, I've got X amount of time before Christmas. I'm not going to count how many months it is to Christmas, how many days it is. But, there's definitely becomes that kind of push and that force and that sense of rushing. And the control freak really reacts to that sense of limited scarcity, lack. The control freak can really, start to come in there. So, when you are in that space of noticing and being aware that you are trying to control, that you are trying to micromanage, that you are trying to make things happen, check in with the origin story. Check in with why that sense of lack, or why you've created that sense of scarcity, and where that comes from, where that stems from. Because once you understand where it comes from, you can then make a choice to unattach from it, right? When we're unaware, or when we're not willing to look at that story, to forgive, to release, to surrender, to park that, to do the work to move forward, we are constantly stuck in that place. And it might feel embarrassing, or it might feel shameful. There might be something that is perceived as negative that's holding you stuck there. And really, the awareness and then the work to release that allows you to come to that place where you are much more connected with your higher self. You're much more able to see the stories for what they are, and then you're in a much clearer space to be able to make a different choice. And that's really what it stems down to with the control freak. How can I choose something different here? How can I choose to let this go? How can I choose to surrender to this? Because there are many, many layers of the control freak. Just as there are many, many layers to letting go and surrendering and releasing. So, on one level, it is about the kind of actual release. And on another level, it's about being able to trust that by surrendering to whatever you want to call it, the universe, the bigger picture, whatever you might want to call it, be willing to trust that you are taking that sense of surrender and release to a new place, because that involves something that's beyond our rational mind, right? Because we don't know. We don't know how it's going to turn out. We have to trust. And that's where your practice comes in. That's why we know it's so great to be able to have a meditation practice, to do what you need to do to connect with yourself, to do what you need to do to make space, you know, in your mind and in your body, so that you can step into that sense of, you know, reclaiming your natural ability to trust, your natural ability to just understand there's something way bigger going on than what our, you know, rational brains can comprehend or are willing to comprehend. So looking at your story, looking at your trigger, what it is that makes you feel like you're low on time, or that you're running out in some way, or that, you know, quite often it is to do with, you know, not knowing or not trusting that somebody else will be able to support in that way. So understanding those stories, looking at those stories, and feel free to share these stories with us here. And if you want to talk about it in a more private environment, come and join the free Facebook group, and I'll pop the link for the free Facebook community that I have, and you can come in and you can share this here. It's really important that we do this work and we understand and let go of our control freak, because that is what's going to give us, that's what's going to give you the opportunity to show up in the way you want to show up, to create compassionate change, and to feel supported and appreciated, and, you know, to feel love, and to feel connection with, you know, in your life, with your people, with the work that you're doing, all of that. When you're got the control freak, like running riot, what happens is you block any chance of somebody else being able to support you, opportunities for spontaneity, opportunities for fun, opportunities for joy, because it's literally like a brick wall goes down. I'll do it. It's only me that can do it. I've got to hold on, I've got to grip, I've got to make this happen, I've got to force this to happen, because this is what should happen, and I've got to do the X, Y, and Z to make that happen. So your practice is key. You know, what you do every day, your imperfect practice to connect with yourself, is absolutely key. So check in with that. The antidote for the control freak is to surrender and trust. And, you know, this is not something that you just say, okay, I'm going to surrender and I'm going to trust. Bing! Brilliant! It's happened. This is work. This is work to release the stories that have told us before that we have to control, we have to make things happen, because otherwise X, Y, and Z will happen, and that's really bad. This is, again, always about coming back into the present moment, always about what is true for me right now, what is truly happening for me, what is truly going on right now, here in this moment. Not what's happened before, not what might happen in the future, what is happening right now. So surrender and trust is big work, and it is just what I'd like to say is it's totally achievable for you, because if you're watching this with a level of disbelief, and you think, well, you know, it might work for you, but it won't work for me, it absolutely will, because I have been, probably at times in my life, one of the biggest control freaks ever. And I have, with a lot of work and focus and commitment, been able to let that go, and you totally can do it too. And it becomes this kind of, you move into this space where, when you are triggered, or you do feel something's going on for you, and your control freaks maybe itching to get back, it's not become hard work to let that go. It becomes like an opportunity to go, oh great, so this is going to take me to somewhere else. You know, I've got this opportunity to let this go. I'm really grateful that I can see this. Right? I'm really grateful that I can see this happening, and that I can choose differently. Because what it boils down to is, you have a choice with any of your inner fear freaks, and we're talking about the control freak here. You have the opportunity to choose whether you're going to react, or whether you're going to choose to respond. Something very different. Response is very different to a reaction. Reaction suggests something that's like knee-jerk, that can come from a place of being in the past, or fear of the future, whereas a response is about something that's more truthful and more spacious and more loving and more kind for you and for the people around you. So I'd love to hear what resonated for you from this session. I'd love you to share with me, where you're at with your inner control freak right now. I'd love you to share with me if you can take away the antidote, if you can take away the antidote of where you can bring more surrender, into your life, and you can trust. And feel free to bring this conversation into the group. I'm going to share the link for the free quiz, which you can do to find out who your dominant inner fear freak is. And I'll share the link for the free community, because if you want to bring, this is the kind of conversations that we're having, you can come into the group and you can talk about, what's triggering you, what's going on for you with your inner control freak, and get some support so that you can move forward and feel way more spontaneity and way more fun and way more contentment and way more connection, because you're lifting that wall up, you're letting go of that barrier between you and the experiences and the people that that you're here to spend time with, you're here to help, you're here to support. So I'm going to pop all that information below. If this video has really resonated for you, please share it with any women who could do with this. And I'm going to be honest with you, the majority of women that I know can do with letting go of control, right? We all have that inner control freak. We all have it in us to make a different choice and to surrender more, to let more of the good stuff in. So feel free to share, and I will see you very soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye.